Good morning, gentle people. Today is September 6th. September 6th. If it's your birthday today, oops, I forgot one. Happy birthday! Let's see what September 6th has to say. What's the message for September 6th? What's the message? I got four. Let's start with the bottom one. It says spiritual hygiene. Spiritual hygiene. Next card says confusion. What? What's happening? Move these guys over. Next card. Gypsy spirit. Gypsy spirit. Next card. Congo spirit. What? What is this? No wonder you're confused. You have all of these spirits around you. Look. Hold on, let me think here. So you might be of mixed descendants. You might be a little African. You might have a little Middle Eastern or what's that word, nomad, or what, Romanian, from that area. Oh no, girl, I know exactly what you feel. I know exactly what you feel. It's hard being mixed. Okay, it is hard being mixed. When you are half white, half black, half indigenous, or okay, that's too many halves, but you know what I'm saying. Your DNA is totally mixed like this. You see here on the Congo spirit, there's this little compass. I don't know if you can see it well. It's very light. Northwest, southeast. You feel like you're all over the place because you are all over the place. Because what's the word I'm trying to say? You mixed. And when you mixed, sometimes your white side takes over. Sometimes your black side takes over. Sometimes your indigenous side takes over. Sometimes you do things and the rest of your family is looking at you like you're crazy. Like we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't listen to that music, or we don't eat that type of food. Where'd you get this from? And it's because somebody down your line did something. Now, this is not recent. This is like 5, 7, 6 generations before you. So you don't know these people who mixed up your blood, but it comes out in the simplest things. Let me share a personal story. Okay. Many years ago, I went to a concert. It was a free concert in this town of Gettysburg, right? Because Music Gettysburg lives here. Music Gettysburg is where a lot of artists, especially local artists, come and perform. And there was this one group, it was 2 ladies that came, and they were singing, and then they started singing this song. And my tears started coming out, and I couldn't understand why am I feeling this way, and I was crying that ugly cry, girl, crying that ugly cry. It was a Jewish song. It was a Jewish song. And I couldn't understand why. Fast forward a few years, and what happens? I get the offer to get my DNA tested. I get my DNA tested. When I get the results back, I fall upon this word. I'm like, what the hell is this word? What does that word mean? I had to look it up. I look it up, and lo and behold, I am 0.3% Jewish. Jewish. 0.3. You would think that's not a lot. But you know what's not a lot, but still makes a big impact? You would think being Jewish, 0.3% doesn't have impact. But you know what is 0.3% and has a lot of impact? When you cook your food and you forget the salt. The salt is 0.3%. That's just a little bit, like this. Just that, a sprinkling. That's what salt is. And I had that Jewish sprinkled upon my DNA, which is why when I heard this song, it awakened an ancestral memory of somebody in my past who was Jewish. And I was crying the ugly cry here in this modern age because of that sprinkling. That's what has you all confused. You don't know. You probably think you're 100% black. You probably think you're 100% white. You probably think you're 100%, I'm going to say Puerto Rican, but everybody knows that Puerto Ricans are mixed, okay? But you don't know what all up is in there until you check. And now the advice here is not to check, okay? I'm not saying go ahead and check. But what I'm saying is you might have, look at these two. How different can these be? Look at how light-skinned these ladies are. And even though they're Middle Eastern, that looks way different from this. And these two differences can cause you to be a little confused about any XY thing, X, Y, or Z thing, right? Okay. The answer here is this. Spiritual hygiene. Right under here, it says, balance your energies by grounding, doing shadow work, and connecting with ancestors. Connect with your ancestors. Connect with your ancestors. Light a candle. If nothing else, set out a ancestor table. Set out an ancestor table. And light a candle. Place a glass of water and dedicate it to your ancestors. You don't need to know who they are. Not right now. You don't need to know who they are. You don't need to absolutely know I'm indigenous or I am this or I am that. You don't need to. But you can dedicate a glass of water to your ancestors, those you know and those you don't know. Sit with them. Ask them for calm. You might have a gypsy spirit. You might have a nomadic spirit, which is why you're here 2 years, you move, you go there 2 years, you move and you come here 2 years, and then you're like, I'm packing up, I'm moving to China, and you do that for a year, and that wouldn't make sense if you have a gypsy spirit. If you like these herbs, or you're always dabbling in natural remedies, right? You probably have a Congo spirit. You might like to fight. You might look, you might get your feathers ruffled for the simplest thing. Why do I say that about this? Because folks from the Congo were mistreated and continue to be mistreated to this day. Continue to be mistreated. We were the ones, these folks were the ones that are mostly populated the United States. They weren't treated well. And when you're not treated well, you want to lash back, you want to fight back. And that's why I say you might have a fighting spirit. Okay, not because you're violent necessarily. This is ancestral. This is from way back. And you don't understand all of this. You don't understand all of this. The solution is to honor these ancestors, the ones you know and the ones you don't know, with a glass of water on a table with a white cloth and a candle. And you sit by there 5-10 minutes every day, either in the morning or at night. Sit with them. Ask them to speak to you. Ask them to bring you messages in your dreams, so that and ask them to clean up all of this confusion that you might be having. I hope this helps. I hope my example helped you understand a little bit about being a mixed person and sometimes being confused. Please walk in joy. Know that this place is sacred, divine, and special just because you exist, just because you're here. Thank you for spending time with me today. Ashe.